Hi, lovelies. What is fear? What is fear and how can we overcome it? Fear is present in almost any decision you make about your life, isn't it? It's in any situation you can choose love or fear. It's like is a dark angel sitting on the one shoulder and a white angel sitting on the other. Or we could also call it the negative and the positive mind. And there's a neutral mind, which then chooses according to this advisors, or according to your emotional guidance system, if you're available to it already, or to your intuition, if you're available to it already. We all have felt fear. Fear can look like getting lost in a supermarket as a child. Happened to me. Or a loved one had an accident and you were worried if they would make it through. Or you lost a job, got made redundant, or didn't have the funds to pay your rent, bills, or mortgage. You took your exams maybe, and you were worried if you pass or not. Embarrassment, yeah? Or the fear of feeling embarrassed, or you feel the end of a relationship, which is maybe not serving you anymore, or friendship, or fear of getting on a plane for the first time, or just learning to drive, or fear of leaving home, or just fear of getting out of the house, or this often present fear of being and feeling alone, or just ringing in sick at work if you are sick, or the inability to make decisions, stuff like this, or meeting others' expectations, albeit doing that doesn't feel good to you because maybe you want to feel good, you want to be seen good or nice or helpful, but it's hurting yourself. You see, I could list the reasons people have fear or allow it into their lives forever, but fear is endless and limitless. What may be scary to one person may not be to another. We shouldn't judge anyone based on this, but yet we do. Just because you aren't scared of the dark doesn't mean someone else isn't. We often mock others or pity them for their fears instead of showing compassion and understanding. We are able to see other people's fears that are different to ours quite easily. There are some people who may have certain fears as preferences in dating. For example, I wouldn't date anyone who was scared of the ocean because swimming and surfing are important to me. However, we are also able to relate to others who share the same fears as us, which can lead to relationship forming. Yeah? Relationships formed out of these fears. Strange, huh? This can be used in favor of our fears or against them. A friend who sees your fears can give you comfort, understanding, and guidance around your fears and help you to overcome them. Or another friend can affirm your fears and, so to say, normalize them, which is telling your mind it's okay to be in fear and that there are ways to cope with this fear. By normalizing fears, we aren't actually helping each other. We are just perpetuating them and saying it's okay to let that fear control our or dictate our lives. We may then go on to form deep friendships around our fears in the same way we share common interests. We are perpetuating this fear into existence instead of working to remove it, to transform it. Normalizing fear is part of healing and evolving. Sure, I did this too. However, this can be misinterpreted. Many people don't understand that they are doing this, but when we are more knowledgeable on fear, what it is and what it stands for, perhaps then we can use different techniques and approaches towards fear. If we really break fear down, let's see what it stands for. Fear. F-E-A-R. False evidence appears real. False evidence appears real. Fear, just let's say, it's per se an illusion. You can make it true again and again in your life experience, but it is an illusion, and no fear ever felt good to you, isn't it? Fear is created in the mind. It is social, political, and misconstrued science. Fear only exists because we allow it to. If I told you fear is a chemical released into the brain which causes you to act and react to things differently, then would you be more inclined to stop this release? I hear it from people all the time. I'll never change. I've always been scared of this, that, or this, or it is like that. It was always like that. Well, this also comes with the belief system programming. If you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're always going to be right. The mind is powerful, so much more powerful than we have been taught or led to believe. We have significant control over our minds, but we don't believe we have, or we don't give it much thought. What a paradox. If someone said they could take away all your fears and limitations, how would that make you feel? Many people would pay someone else to do this, only to have the fears and limitations returned to them weeks or months down the line. The problem with humanity is that they aren't willing to do the work themselves, the inner work. There's no quick fix, no money that you can pay to have your fear removed by someone. Your fear was created in your mind through your own experiences, through your past learning, through observing. It is yours to diminish, yours to remove or transform your fears. Stop taking pills that help you forget or ease your depressions or anxiety or any drug. Stop feeding your fears. The more we say we are scared of something, the more we confirm it to be so. Words are very powerful. Observe what you talk. Observe yourself. Observe your thoughts, your emotions, and what you speak. What are you speaking into existence all day long? To change your fears, the first step is acknowledgement. To feel the fear, to experience it, preferably as an observer, as the seer, not being that, identified with this. And from there, understand that it has become a part of you. Do not feel embarrassed by it or belittled. Our fears shape us all, and our outer and inner realities. However, do not let the fear consume you. Understand that fear comes, where that fear comes from. Yeah? If you have a fear and cannot remember or understand where it comes from, it may have been formed in your early childhood. Most of our programming comes from the ages of 0 to 7. We all have an so-called inner child, and this inner child is inside us, or even when we become, so to say, adults. You may have been the child lost in the supermarket at the age of 5, looking for your parents, as it happened to me. At that age, we do not understand what's going on. All we see is isles and isles with no end in sight. People all around us, but none that we recognize. It can be pretty scary to lose a parent or family member in a place so unfamiliar to us. This can be, for a child, this can be a traumatic experience. You may have forgotten this memory, but years later, it may resurface and appear in the form of anxiety, which then could lead to personality traits forming. You might be a person who doesn't like crowds, or you doesn't like to walk alone. You may not even like to go somewhere new on your own. Or some people don't even like to go out of their house. All these feelings and emotions stem from a past experience. These past experiences then shape our current realities. What you resist will persist unless you get to the root cause. It takes a lot of work and a lot of courage to go back in time and dig up our darkest memories. However, it's all part of growth and evolution. And you can ask help for that. You don't need to go through that alone. You're not alone. It's also just an illusion. Ask yourself, be honest to yourself. Ask yourself, do you like living in fear? Do you like fears dictating your decisions about yourself, about your life, about things, stuff? Do you like having depression or anxiety? Do you live a life determined by your past. Most people out there are living ahead of time or back in time. They are anxious about the future or depressed about something that happened in the past. You cannot change the past yet, but you can change your views, your feelings, your emotions on the past, which can have a huge impact on how you feel in the present and what you create in your outer reality. We are not living in the future yet, so why worry about something that may or may not be when it hasn't even arrived yet? Futures, absolutely fictive. Yeah, actually you're created now. But no, when you bring the past all the time into now and project from there on the future, you just recreate the stuff you don't want from the past again and again. Whether you are living in the past or living in the future, neither are now. So let them go, because only now you can live. You can only live in the now. If you hang around in the past or in the future, you don't live. Live. Wake up. Sorry if this post has triggered you in any way. Maybe you need to take a moment to understand why. Maybe go through it again. Give it a second chance. And if me asking you if you like being to be depressed or living with anxiety is something to be like makes you angry, then realize that you are the one responsible for how you feel. Our egotistic mind is conditioned whenever it's triggered to make something or somebody, me for example, responsible for how you feel. But as long as you feel triggered about something, there's something in you to heal. As long as there's something in you to heal, it will be triggered outside of you in your life experience by any form or appearance. Could be a situation, something, or a person. You don't have to live in either of those states. Do not be a victim to your own programming or your circumstances. It's never too late to change your mindset and remove your fears, limitations, and worries, or better, transform it. We all have a past, memory imprints, but we can choose to be forever a victim, living in your own mental prison for fear, hate, worry, anger, sadness, and denial and missing. Or we can choose to no longer be a victim or slave to our past. We can, but just know that it all starts and ends with you. The healer or the healing you are waiting for, or whatever should happen in your outer circumstance to make you get better, make you feel better, that healer is you. What you're waiting for is you. You taking responsibility for yourself. And there's lots of help out there, lots of people which we are going through this processes already and can guide you through with on the way of least resistance, so to say. the fastest way. Maybe, if you're willing, even the fearless approach, which I teach. It all starts and ends with you. Take responsibility. I'm there for you. If you have any question or you want to discuss or have any critics are welcome. Thank you for being here with me. I enjoyed this conversation immensely. Enjoy yourself. Allow yourself. Have an amazing day, evening, night. Whatever comes first.